paused, but I stopped and restarted the stream. So if the name's not going to be right, I'll have to deal with that. And you know, I'm doing full screen, so the fix may very well be to do full screen windowed, and maybe it won't do this crazy stuff. But I appreciate you telling me that. So I'll pick up some rocks and I'll pick up some berries here. I've got between 40 and 50 hours in this game. So far it's kind of been sort of addictive. I was playing ARK for a while, and or not ARK, Rust. I was playing Rust for a while. Before that I was playing Reign of Kings for a while. Problem with Reign of Kings was I was on a private server, and when the private server went away, playing on the public servers, there's just way too much raiding and griefing, and there were a lot of hacks in that game. So I switched to Rust and was playing Rust on a private server, and that was pretty cool. And when this game launched, the folks that I usually play with or I watch stream, they went ahead and launched a server. I don't use Nightbot, so maybe you blame it when you have problems, but again, I'm just using the NVIDIA software that comes with the NVIDIA card, so maybe I can do this though. I'll mess around with that, and it's one of those things that's difficult for me to see. I've got a tablet that sits over here by my. I've got two monitors on my PC, and I've also got a tablet. And if I wanted to test and play around with this, I actually could set up something. So what I'll do is I'll mess around with it sometime when I've got an extra PC. I'll bring a notebook or something and set it up here so I can watch. I'm not going to worry about it. Right behind my little fort, on the other side of this rock, is like a little pond. And this is where my irrigation, you have to put your intake into water. So you could build an intake pipe from the beach, or you could build it from a little pond like this, and you connect it to taps to water your crops, and that's pretty much how the farming works. Yeah, some of the folks that I watch stream, they use OBS. And they have overlays. They have Nightbot that can do modding in their streams. I don't stream that much, to be honest with you. My watch to stream ratio is I probably watch 20 hours of streaming for every hour that I actually stream. Although I'm going to TwitchCon, and they're going to have sessions at TwitchCon that, you know, talks about stuff. So I could get more interested in it. I just it's sort of a distraction. Or it's more work too. As I play the game and I'm thinking, this is what I want to do, to also just kind of talk constantly and narrate, you know, say out loud what I'm doing, because otherwise, if you don't do that, it's not necessarily as interesting of a stream. That's one of the things I think people, they watch a streamer, a really good streamer, and they say, oh, there's not much to this. All they're doing is playing games, but there's really effort to do it well. I think there's a lot of effort that is easily underappreciated. When I listen to myself stream, my speech patterns, my pause words, it drives me crazy because I don't like when I hear myself talk. I'm not really wild about the way that it sounds, and my criteria for that is I've done some work both as an instructor, teaching classes live, in person, and also virtual learning over the web and recorded stuff. Technical kind of stuff, not like high school or college, but technical computer, software, hardware classes was my profession that I did for a number of years. And with that, you have repetitions. You say the same thing over and over again. It becomes really comfortable for you. And there's interactivity with your students. Well, if you're good, instead of just lecturing, if you're a good instructor, there's interactivity. And as you said in your comment in the stream, good streamers are very good at talking to themselves. So they have to, it's kind of all on their shoulders to make it interesting and to make it have a point instead of just rambling. And so when I watch somebody like Lyric Stream or Cream or Elite or was it Fairlight, Excalibur, or Rhino Crunch, and again, there's a whole bunch of people. It's like, it sounds like they're just sitting there talking, having a good time, but when you try to do it yourself, as I said just a little while ago, you realize there's effort. Swifter, I just got a notification that Swifter started his stream, and he's a fellow I've watched, and like he thinks of things and he does things, and sometimes he puts up with nonsense from what I consider to be nonsense from his viewers, but it makes it interesting. I do have a cam, but I don't really use my cam anymore, and it's really a very basic reason, and that is I live in Florida. It gets hot here in Florida in the summertime. I run my air conditioning, but to save money, I leave my thermostat a little bit higher than most people, and to compensate, I only wear like a swimsuit or a pair of shorts, and so not having a shirt on kind of makes it necessary to not use my cam given the Twitch rules on that. So and I find there's some people I watch, Lyric is probably the one that doesn't use a cam that I watch the most, but I think Jamal Butterworth doesn't use a cam most of the time. Timac doesn't use a cam, and so using a cam, unless you're depending upon people looking at your cleavage or whatever, I think using a cam as a streamer is not necessary. So you notice the sun is starting to set here in the game, and I got the little icon saying I'm cold. I should have enough fiber now. These are your icons in inventory. You'll see I've got 36 fiber, 2 hides, and if you hover over it, it'll tell you what it can be used for. I'm sorry, that's thatch. This is fiber. And so now if I go back in, the things that I know how to craft, the ones that are colored gray, are the things that I have enough resources to make. The ones that are colored red are the ones that I'm lacking. If you hover over an item, it'll tell you the resources that are required, and you've got green and red to tell you whether you have them or how many more. So I need pants, shoes. So I'm, oh, that's leather. That's leather pants. So there's my cloth pants. Now, one of the things you can do in this game is you can take the berries and water in the cooking pot and you can make dye, colored dye, and then you can apply the dye to items. So it's possible to have made, to craft items and then to use the dye to color those items. So not everybody that's running around is just plain gray. Some folks are a variety of colors. Got a hat. Let's see, shoes. Those are the gloves. And again, some of these are made of cloth and some of these are made of hide. As you level up through the game, the things that you know how to make will change. So let's do this. Let's run back. Those things in the sky that you see, the one on the left is an obelisk. Underneath it there's like a rock formation and a pedestal, and there's options where you can save your game up into the cloud, your characters, if you wanted to move things to another server or download something you've saved. That's possible on official servers. The thing to the right that's just kind of a shaft of colored light, those are supply drops, and getting to the base of that, if you get there first, can put you in a position to collect some loot. And the colors of those will determine the levels that you have to be to access it. I've got a torch in here. Alright, so here I am back inside my base. Inside of these storage bins, where you can place things. So you see there's an example of if I have a hat and I had red dye, I could dye that hat red. And so now I've got a red hat. The cabinet's limited by item slots and by weight. So at some point you start trying to manage your cabinets. This one I've got a lot of fiber in. You quickly, if you're eating a lot of berries, you'll run out. So this, I'm gonna experiment. I'm gonna go to, instead of full screen, I'm gonna go to windowed full screen. I may have told it I only want to stream full screen, and that may have been why it paused. Interesting. Very interesting. I thought it had been working previously, so I'm just looking around now. Okay, it says it's ended, but my stuff says it's streaming on my screen here. For the stream. Yeah, it's not loading. Interesting. Interesting. Not seeing it load on my tablet. Yes, it does appear to have bombed again, doesn't it? And I know if I